What's good, G-Life? This right here is beautiful Cali, California, land of the palm trees and the gangbanging. Now, in today's video, we shall be covering varrios with unique names, varrios in which people at one point or another thought that maybe they started in Mexico or maybe came down over here, or maybe if they were like maybe paisa neighborhoods, but that's not the case. They're just varrios that embrace their heritage, and, you know, don't ever get it twisted. But we shall be starting and covering them, you know, on this one. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Street raised, I was brought up where the G stayed. Peep game, those who didn't catch one to your brain. Stay in your lane, never wolfed it, boy, I never fake. Watch them break, watch them fall, still I remain. Never change, never try to come and rearrange. Never hate, never tripping on somebody's plate. That shit is lame, leave that type of shit for the dames. The streets don't play, yo, catch up, watch your life escapes. One game, homie, that you shouldn't play. There's real soldiers in the streets gunning every day. This shit is normal in the vital part of every day. It ain't great, but I'm loyal, so I'll never change. I keep repeating, but I mean it, never lose your way. Heed the warning and the missing just for talking brave. Fuck my enemies, two faces and all the snakes. Now for this matter, just name the time and name the place. We'll get it active, fuck the gap, and I'm in face to face. Real gangsters never fold, then we never shake. I was brought up to...
You are now watching M.O.D Entertainment.
Now, to find the first of these varrios, we actually have to be maneuvering our way to the area that is known as East LA, East Los Angeles. You already know East Los Angeles is home to several different barrios, and it is here where one of these barrios with this unique name that embraces their, you know, Mexican heritage, you know, comes from. And the barrio we are talking about is known as the barrio CLPS. Barrio CLPS translates to barrio Clica Los Primos. Barrio Clica Los Primos is a barrio from here, from East LA. So it's not from Mexico or none of that, and it's not a paisa gang. They are homeboys. You know what I mean? Clica Los Primos is a well-known barrio within the East LA area. You know what I mean? With several hundred members to them. I mean, in itself, they have, you know, several, you know, dozens of cliques, you know, like psychos to the dukes, to the tiny locos, to the gangster locos, to the tiny winos, to the spiders, to all kinds of, or the sickos, all kinds of different cliques. You know what I mean? We're talking about a barrio, you know, who has, you know, had the manpower. At one point, they were a large barrio within East LA. Since then, they have, you know, scattered through different parts of, you know, Southern California. And I even heard in Northern California, even all the way to Mexico. You know, so, yeah, a few hundred members to them. You know, we can only call it for how it is, despite what individuals want to say. And, you know, they originated, like I said, out of East Los Angeles, you know. This was their birthplace and where they started at. I am aware that they are in Riverside and different locations, you know what I mean? But this was their birthplace. Now, their birthplace comes from the territory that stretched throughout Indiana Street, all the way to 3rd and to Whittier Boulevard and back around. So everything that was from, you know, Indiana 3rd and Whittier Boulevard was considered their barrio, you know what I mean? In the midst of the danger zone right there with the Indiana Dukes and the Laguna Park Vikings and everybody else and their mother right there. It definitely gets, you know, chaotic and it cracks in those areas. And yes, this is the original birthplace and spot for Barrio Clica Los Primos, CLPS, real barrio that puts it down. And from what I was told is that they are known as Clica Los Primos because it was started by a group of cousins. At least that's from what I was told, how they got their name, you know, because obviously primo means cousin. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what's up with the Clica Los Primos right here representing in East LA. Now, to find the next barrio, we actually have to be maneuvering our way to the area that is known as South Central. You already know South Central is an area that definitely cracks, and it is here in South Central. To be more exact, actually on the east side of South Central, where we're able to find the next barrio with a unique name to it that embraces their heritage, which is known as Barrio CXL. CXL translating to Barrio Los Carnales, East Side Carnales. Carnales obviously translating to brothers. You know, it's a term that, you know, as homeboys use. Hey, what's up, carnale? ¿Qué hubo, carnales? You know, carnal, like your brothers, right? Because it's a brotherhood. And this barrio is located here on the east side of, you know, South Central. Obviously, why you see it up as East Side, Carnales, or you see South Side Carnales, or Southeast Carnales, or West Side Carnales, is due to the fact that this barrio spread out to different locations. So it's not just located here in South Central. These guys have spread out to Mexico, to other states, countries, like I said, and other cities, because they are, at least from what I was told, more than 300 members to them, just scattered, throughout different locations. They have clicas, spread out in different areas. I could only, come and spit the facts, bro. Now, their territory essentially was everything that was from 75th. 75th, their territory extended still all the way to Broadway. Broadway, their turf extended to 79th. And from 79th, their turf still stretched out all the way to Avalon Boulevard and back around, I am aware that the area is very chaotic. You see a lot of neighborhoods, within that area, a lot of black neighborhoods as well. It just makes, it gets chaotic, bro. You know what I'm saying? So in the original area, they're not as deep as they once were. Because like I said, so many different gangs within that area, but they do have the numbers, spread out through other different locations. With different clicas. So that's when people be like, nah, they're not that deep. No, yes, they are, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're just scattered. But, they are aware of each other. They do hang out with each other. You know what I mean? So, all it is one phone call away to get that, reinforcements. But yeah, that's what's up with the Barrio Carnales right here representing for theirs. Now, to find the next barrio, we actually have to be maneuvering our way to the area that is known as Hawthorne. Yes, it is here in the area of Hawthorne where we're able to find the next barrio, which is known as the barrio LCV3. LCV3 translating to barrio Los Compadres Barrio 3. Los Compadres Barrio 3 is already an old barrio, bro. You know what I mean? Going back, long time, you know what I mean? Back to like the 40s, bro. You know what I mean? It's an old gang that originated here in Hawthorne. Since then, it has spread to different locations as well. Los Compadres Barrio 3, now obviously why the Barrio 3 part is because it had different branches, right? Different branches of their barrio, and with time the branches, changed. They had disagreements. They switched the names, and this was the one that stayed, right? Their third branch. This was their third branch, and it is the branch that maintained and stood, and still to this day, is established. But that's essentially why it's called Barrio 3. So not that it's like Compton Barrio 3 or because it's on 3rd Street or none of that, bro. It's because it was the third branch of the barrio. It is why it's known as Los Compadres Barrio 3. And obviously Los Compadres, compadres like your taita, your homeboy, your road dog, your doggy dog, that's your compadre. So, that is what it refers to. And essentially their barrio was everything that was from Olive Street, their territory extended to where the freeway was at, the 405. From the 405, their neighborhood extended to Buckthorn Street, all the way to Inglewood and back around. Everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio throughout Oak Street and all of that. Spruce, Magnolia, all of that is considered their barrio. You know what I mean? Everything that's close to Centennial Field is what's considered their barrio. Now, they are also located in the 661, the Antelope Valley. The 661, the Antelope Valley, is also home to Los Compadres. They have a strong presence. They're probably larger here now than in the original location. It's a barrio that you definitely hear about that holds it down right here in the Antelope Valley, bro. Don't get it twisted. Their barrio over here is essentially everything that's from Avenue Q, 30th Street. Their territory still extends to Palmdale Boulevard to 35th, and back around. Everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio. Throughout Avenue Q4, Glen Bush, all of that is what's considered, their barrio over there. So they do have, branches in different locations, but it is the same gang, representing for them and Los Compadres right there, Barrio 3. Now, to find the next barrio on the list, this one's a little bit trickier because essentially we have to be traveling to two different locations. borderline. Obviously, we have to be maneuvering our way to the area that is known as Linwood/Compton. For those who don't know, Linwood is the city right next to Compton. So this barrio tends to be borderline of Linwood and Compton. You see it up sometimes as Linwood, you see it up sometimes as Compton. You know what I mean? Depending, which, homies, from which group is writing. And this barrio is known as the barrio BLP. Now, BLP is sometimes seen as CVBLP or sometimes it's seen as LVBLP. The reason for, Linwood Barrio, Barrio Los Padrinos, or Compton Barrio Los Padrinos. Is essentially, so the name is Barrio Los Padrinos. And this barrio did start in Linwood, the city of Linwood is where they originated at. And Los Palms apartment plexes was the name of the apartment plexes. That is where they originated from, hence why they use, you see it up sometimes, Palmas, Palm, hit up, because it's the name of the apartment plexes, which they started from. But a lot of their homies did live in Compton as well, you know what I mean? But they originated at, the Linwood area, but they had a bunch of homies that moved to Compton and lived in Compton and recruited in Compton and began to get bigger over there than in the Linwood location, hence why you see, Compton, Barrio Los Padrinos. But they originated out of Linwood. So when people ask, well, what neighborhood is it? Where is it exactly? Is it at? Well, it's in both spots. So both of them are actually correct. You know what I mean? They don't have to be, one or the other. They can rip it both. But essentially, what their barrio is now is everything that's from Alpine. And Alpine, their territory still stretches to Carlin. The territory stretches all the way to Alameda all the way to Pine. From Pine, the territory stretches still all the way to Long Beach Boulevard and back around. So everything that's in the middle, in which they share their territory with Palm Oaks Gangster Cribs. You know what I mean? They share their territory right there with them. But yes, this is where they're at. This is where they're located at. You know what I mean? Like I said, their territory stretches to both locations, Linwood and Compton. Since they're just literally right there. And this barrio is said to be a few hundred members to them because not only are they established in these two locations, but they're also established in Mexico, and I also heard they're established in Northern California. So, Barrio Los Padrinos does have, a few, 100 members to them. And it translates to Barrio Los Padrinos translates to Godfathers. Padrino's obviously a godfather, so it's known as Barrio Godfather. So sometimes you do see it up as GFS, but no connection to the other GFS. You know what I mean? When they write it in English, but that's rare. You see it that way. Once in a while. But yeah, Barrio, it translates to Los Padrinos, and that's who they are, and they still continue to hold it down, representing for theirs and their neighborhood. Now, to find the next barrio on the list, we actually don't have to be traveling far at all. Still maintaining roughly around the Linwood area. And it is here where we're able to find the next barrio on the list, with the unique name to them, which is known as the barrio CPTS. CPTS, not to be confused with CPT, Compton. This CPTS translating to barrio Linwood Barrio Los Compitas. So not to be confused with Los Compadres, this is Los Compitas. Two different neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Compita it technically means the same as, Compita means kind of the same thing as compadre. Just a different way of saying it. You know what I'm saying? And here in Linwood is their domain. Their territory, which they share obviously with the cross Atlantic Piraeus, like I said, definitely cracks in Linwood with all, not just Hispanic gangs, but with black gangs as well. Their territory is everything that's from Clark Street. Clark Street, their territory extends to Atlantic Boulevard. Atlantic Boulevard, their territory still stretches to Arlington. And from Arlington, their territory stretches to Wright Road. And from Wright Road back around to Clarkson, everything that's in the middle is what's considered Los Compitas, Linwood Barrio Los Compitas territory, like I said, they share the territory with the cross Atlantic Piraeus, bro. I mean, Like I said, bro, you know, and now Barrio Los Compitas is not that large. I was at least told that it's roughly like around, you know, 60 to 80 members, somewhere in between there. So, you know, one of the more smaller neighborhoods, because they haven't been around that as long as some of these old, you know, other older barrios within the area. But don't get it twisted. These guys definitely be putting theirs on the map. You know what I mean? These guys ain't no suckers. They definitely be riding you. You hear about them, you know what I mean? You hear them doing their thing right there. And they still continue to represent theirs and putting theirs on the map and holding it down. Because I was hearing people say, nah, that neighborhood ain't around no more. What they. Like I said, bro, people are always going to hate and say what they want. But like I said, bro, it's facts over feelings right here. It's a real neighborhood. It is established. And they're still right there representing, bro. You can hate it or love it. Don't change the facts. You know what I mean? But that's what's up with Barrio Lingwood, Barrio Los Compitas. Now, to find the next barrio on the list, we actually have to be maneuvering our way to the area that is known as the southeast of Los Angeles County. Southeast is the area that consists of areas like Santa Fe Springs, Norwalk, you know, Pico Rivera, areas like that. And it is here where we're able to find the next neighborhood. To be more specific, we shall be maneuvering our way to the area of Whittier. In Whittier is we're able to find this next barrio in the area that is referred to as Los Nietos. And it is here where we're able to find the barrio LNR. LNR translating to Los Nietos Rifa. Los Nietos translating to a nieto is what's considered you know, a grandchild, right? So that's a grandchild, you call him your nieto. Now, so it's barrio grandchildren. Now, why is it referred to grandchildren? Is because they are actually named after the avenue that, or the road that stretches through their neighborhood, which is Los Nietos Road. So they're actually named after the street, pues, you know what I mean? That stretches through their barrio on Los Nietos. So that is how they got their name, you know what I mean? Essentially, their barrio is what's Washington Boulevard. Washington Boulevard, their territory still stretches all the way to what's Westman Avenue. Westman Avenue, their territory still stretches all the way to Norwalk Boulevard. Norwalk Boulevard, their territory still stretches to everything that's Rivera Road. Rivera Road, the territory still stretches all the way to Pioneer Boulevard and back around. Everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio, and throughout Los Nietos. You know what I mean? It's what's considered their turf. Obviously, I am well aware that the Vicky's town in the southeast is located right there too. They have Cantarrana just right there as well. So it definitely gets chaotic, you know. But right here on Slauson and Norwalk Boulevard, you know, it goes down right here in Los Nietos, homie. Don't ever get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? It definitely cracks in the southeast. And like I said, this barrio is already an old barrio that has been well established here with a few hundred members to them. At least from what I was told, more than 200 members to Los Nietos. So like I said, they're real individuals that do real things. You know what I mean? And that is how essentially why they're named Los Nietos. They're named after Los Nietos roads, and they're still representing right here for the southeast and still putting theirs on the map and holding it down. To find the next barrio on the list, we actually have to be making our way to Orange County, the OC. The OC is definitely, you know, another area that is gang infested, full of a gang of neighborhoods. And to nobody's surprise, guess which area of OC we shall be traveling to? That's right. The area of Santana. What can I say, bro? It's gang infested right here. Santana is another area where we're able to find one of these barrios with a unique name, you know, with their embracing their heritage in Spanish. And to be more exact, we shall be maneuvering our way to the west side of Santana, because in the west is where they're located at. And here is where we're able to find the barrio LC, not to be confused with Los Coyotes. This LC translating to barrio Los Compadres. What, Shadow? I thought you already covered Los Compadres. Nah, that was Los Compadres Barrio 3. This Los Compadres and that Los Compadres is two different gangs. I actually made a video talking about gangs that get mistaken for each other, where I cover, you know, these two neighborhoods, you know. On that one, you can go check that one out. So they're not the same gang, just, you know, similar names. You know, Los Compadres Barrio 3. This one's known as West Side Los Compadres. And like I said, Los Compadres meaning, you know, your doggy dog. And yes, it has no connection to the other one. And their barrio essentially is everything that's on McFadden all the way to McFadden. Their territory still stretches all the way to Bristow all the way to Edinger, and back around, you know, throughout Douglas Street as well. It's where you're able to find Los Compadres, you know, throughout Wilshire Avenue. All of that is their terrain, their dojo. And this barrio is said to be like 100 and something members to them. You know, so they do, you know, they're a decent size. And like I said, it's jam-packed full of different barrios around this area, you know what I mean? And this neighborhood roughly started around the later 80s, early 90s when this neighborhood was established. So it's not as old school as the other barrio, but don't get it twisted. These individuals don't play, you know what I mean? Even though they represent Westside Los Compadres, not to be confused with Westside Santana. Yeah, they've been holding it down right here and continue to still represent for theirs, you know. These guys definitely be, you know, representing for their barrio and continue to put theirs on the map, and those Los Compadres gang.